If I vanish from the grid tomorrow, will my video actually reach them? Not be found accidentally, not dug up after a few frustrated weekends. Actually reach them when it's supposed to, without someone guessing a password or calling support twice and giving up. That's the blunt version of the problem. No drama in it, just logistics. We've all absorbed the idea that video is now the default way people talk. Phones are always nearby, cameras are always on. Messages are recorded, uploaded, stored. Somewhere we don't physically touch. That shift happened quietly, no announcement. One day you were typing, the next day you were holding the phone a little farther away and hitting record. What didn't shift with it was the delivery plan. We started filming birthdays, advice, even ordinary mornings, assuming the cloud would remember for us. But memory isn't delivery. A server can keep a file intact while the people who need it never know it exists. For a long time, the assumption was simple. If something mattered, you told someone directly, or you wrote it down. Maybe you put a letter somewhere official. The system assumed that if you weren't around, someone else would open the drawer. Digital systems don't work that way. They don't assume absence. They assume inactivity is temporary. Missed logins are treated as a problem to be solved, not a signal to pass something along. That's where terms like inactive account manager and legacy contact enter the picture. Not because anyone was trying to be poetic, but because the platforms ran into a practical issue. People were leaving behind content that mattered, and no one had a clean way to deliver it at the right time. I'll say this plainly, the labels are awkward. Inactive sounds like you went on vacation and forgot your charger. Legacy sounds like an estate planning seminar. Neither name explains what's actually happening. What's happening is this: the system asks you, while you're still here and functional, to name who should receive things if you stop showing up digitally. I stumbled over it at first because it felt abstract. Another setting, another checkbox, another thing that assumes you're managing a small IT department instead of a household. But once you strip away the language, the question is very concrete. If you record a video meant for your family, where does it live? Without a plan, the answer is usually nobody. Not because anyone did anything wrong, but because security systems did what they were built to do: lock everything down. That's the stake here. Videos don't float forward on their own in time. This isn't about sentimentality, it's about whether a file gets delivered or not, whether the link works, whether the right person gets notified instead of guessing. So the guiding question stays practical. If I disappear, will my video reach them? Not eventually, not theoretically. Actually, that's what we're decoding, step by step. No mystery, no romance. Just how to make sure your voice doesn't get trapped behind a login screen, waiting for someone who isn't coming back to type a password. All right, we're not doing violins, we're doing logistics. If the worry is whether a video will reach the right people, the problem isn't recording. Recording is easy. The real problem is storage and delivery, which quietly fails while everything appears to be working fine. A file can sit perfectly safe in the cloud while nobody on Earth knows where it lives, what it's called, or how to access it without tripping a security lock. That's how messages get lost. Not dramatically, just efficiently, behind layers of protection doing their job. So here's the plain plan. 3 short videos, 1 organized folder, and 2 switches flipped, so the system knows what to do when you stop showing up. Nothing sentimental, nothing technical for its own sake. Just enough structure to survive absence. The first video is a general one for the family, not a memoir, not a speech, just a calm message that covers what you'd want everyone to hear at once. The second set is individual videos, one per person who matters, kept deliberately short. 3 to 5 minutes is plenty. The third video is the practical one. Household instructions, key contacts, where important documents live, who to call for what, and the small details that cause real chaos when nobody can find them quickly. Record everything on the phone you already have. Sit near a window, use decent light, no special gear. The goal is clarity, not production value. This isn't a performance. It's a transfer of information that should feel straightforward and usable. Now storage. Pick a place that won't turn into a scavenger hunt. You have 2 solid options. Option A is YouTube, uploaded as unlisted. The videos aren't public, don't appear in searches, and are accessible only by link. The link is the key, not your password. Option B is a folder on Google Drive, iCloud Drive, or Dropbox. Any of those work. The rule is naming. Name files like a sane adult. Date first, then recipient, then purpose clearly. 2026 for Emma, 18 years MFR, tells a complete story. IMG 4839 MAV tells none. Inside that same folder, create one plain document called readme.txt. It should list what's there, who each video is for, and the links. Now the delivery trigger. If you're using Google, turn on Inactive Account Manager. Pick a realistic inactivity window, usually 6 to 18 months. Add the trusted contacts. Give them access to the folder and README. Google handles the notification. On the Apple side, set up Apple Legacy Contact. Choose the person, send them the access key, then store that key somewhere retrievable, not in an old text thread. Print links, file them with documents. Paper still works when batteries don't. And keep it clean. No Facebook posting, no announcements. This isn't content, it's delivery planning. 10 focused minutes turns a trapped file into a received message, handled calmly, without guesswork, passwords, or anyone wondering where to start. It helps to step back here because nothing about this is dramatic unless it's framed that way. The internet didn't turn hostile and platforms didn't get cruel. What changed was quieter. Meaningful communication moved into systems built for daily use, not delayed delivery without a clear handoff plan. So when people worry about videos getting stuck or messages never reaching the right person, that isn't sentiment talking. It's logistics asking for attention. These systems are excellent at handling the present moment, but they need instructions when timing shifts and the sender stops actively participating. There's usually a moment of recognition when this clicks. The sense that time moved faster than expected, not because anyone was careless, but because life stayed full. Work, family, errands, obligations. Things functioned smoothly, so the settings stayed untouched for a long while. Then one day the question appears quietly. If someone stops showing up, does anything recorded actually arrive where it's supposed to? That question doesn't mean something important was missed. It means systems keep doing exactly what they're built to do unless told otherwise. The useful part is noticing how familiar this pattern really is. These transitions have happened before. Dial-up blocked phone lines, email clients lost messages, pop-ups hijacked screens. Each time, the fix wasn't panic or rejection. It was learning where switches lived. Back then, people figured out which settings mattered and ignored the rest. That same skill applies here. The menus changed, the labels got longer, but the logic stayed intact. Quiet attention beats dramatic overhauls when the goal is making things work reliably. There's also relief in how limited the task actually is. No masterpiece required. No need to predict every scenario. 3 short videos, clear file names, 1 folder that makes sense to someone else. A README that explains what's inside and why it exists. Then the system gets told who to notify and when. That's the handoff. No violins, no countdown clock, just instructions that hold up when no one is around to explain them. The work happens once calmly, and then it stays done. What this buys isn't control over the future. It buys fewer complications for the people who come later. No guessing which account holds what. No arguing over passwords. No waiting on support tickets while time stretches and frustration grows. Messages show up because the system was authorized to trust the right person. That isn't emotional, it's clean design. The delivery works because the conditions were named in advance instead of being improvised under pressure. It also changes how technology feels day to day. Updates stop feeling like a chase. Features prove themselves before getting responsibility. Convenience stays optional. Delivery stays deliberate. That posture isn't cautious. It's adult, measured, and sustainable. So the calm conclusion is simple. This isn't about bravery. It's about clarity. A few minutes now replace confusion later, not because anyone was heroic, but because someone named the handoff while things were quiet enough to think.